Okay, Maddie. Well, first of all, welcome back to Rehab Power Hour.
Thank
And
you.
you were
Always
actually
a
on.
pleasure.
Yeah. It's great to have you on. I think you were back on for a very special occasion. You've been trying to get a Motus Foot for a while, and we finally got have a Motus Foot for you. And in terms
Yes,
of doing an assessment, so I am really excited to have you on. But before we kind of dive into those details of the Motus Foot, would you mind if you just given a quick 2-minute elevator talk about who you are?
sure. So, hi, everybody. My name is Maddie. I'm very, very happy to be here. Love being a part of this Motus community. Um, I had a hemorrhagic stroke in May of 2017, and it was a week after I graduated from university. I went to Georgetown in DC, and then I had an AVM in my right occipital lobe, and I went in for brain surgery a week after I graduated. And some of the preoperative procedures ended up causing a blood clot in my brain, which burst. So I ended up having a massive stroke and an emergency surgery. Um, Woke up from the surgery, thank goodness, however many hours later, 7 liters of blood transfusions. It's like a 10-hour operation. I was in a coma, but I woke up and I was completely paralyzed on my left side. So thus began a very long journey of rehabilitation. Completely paralyzed on my left side, so like my arm, my leg, but also like my face, and I couldn't really talk. I couldn't swallow, so I literally had to relearn how to do everything. And yeah, so that was almost 4 years ago. And
Hmm.
doing rehab now, I work full time, and I still do therapy on the side because it's a lie what some doctors say about like only the first year is when you'll get better. Like it continues and continues, and the brain is neuroplastic, and you can still I see way more improvements in the 2+ year range than I did in the 1+ year, I think. So I would just say to anyone, don't give up, like keep working at it.
Yeah, that's a great message, Maddie. So thanks so much. And yeah, you've been using the Motus Hand now for several months,
A
better
lot.
part of half a year, if not longer than that now.
It'll be
Um,
here in June.
that's right. Yeah, geez, we are hurtling towards a year at this point. That's great. Yeah. Um, and so you've also had some really good progress. Be kind of working together a little bit on the side as well, trying to do some additional programs. And I'm really now excited to have you on to work on your lower extremity function. So tell me a little bit about what's going on in your foot and your ankle and your gait, and what kind of motivates you to get with the Motus Foot, and what you actually kind of hope to get out of it.
So I hope to just, I think the main thing is I do want more ankle flexibility, but my big thing is I don't want to have to wear a brace or a bioness. Like I want to just
Mm,
walk with nothing. And so here's the thing, I didn't used to think that I had a lot of spasticity in my leg, but
okay.
then I realized like there's certain tasks, like say I want to cut my toenails. It's really
Mm,
hard with my toes because I find
okay.
myself like curl up. And that's just like
Okay.
a really random thing, but it's something I noticed recently. I was like, oh, this is actually really hard. Um,
Yeah.
so it would be nice to be able to do that, but more so, like generally speaking, I want to be able to just have more fluid walking and walk without any device.
Okay. Yeah, and that's a good point. I think with respect to these tools, there's a constellation of tools out there that can help you kind of get some function back. AFOs are certainly one of them, and they have FES systems that are out there too, and those can help. But those are effectively I like to call those assistant devices, right? They're like a wheelchair or crutches, right? They can help you get from point A to point B, but they won't necessarily help you get any more of your own function back independent. And so I think it really just depends on what your goals are. And I've talked to many people about this, and I think these things are not necessarily antagonistic. They can actually work synergistically. It's just a matter of what kind of goals and what type of incentives you're working with. And personally, as a physical therapist and more as a neuroscientist too, also I really like to get people's function back as independent as possible. And I think working with therapeutic-based devices can be the main way to kind of get to that point. That's really how we have to actually regain our independence.